2 Cent Soapbox Reviews. I'm Kerry. Today I'm going to review Mortal Kombat 2021. So, this movie started out great. Started out fantastic. We started out with pretty much the Scorpion character and the Sub-Zero character. And, you know, it's with Hanzo Hasashi, which is Scorpion. It's going through just like showing like, oh, okay, he's got like his little clan, his little village with his wife and his kids, the other little people of his clan kind of like keeping lookout. And, you know, his wife is like, hey, I need some more water. Those 2 buckets you brought not going to be enough. So he dips back down to the river well to go get some more water. And his wife and his son and his daughter are up in the house. And then everything just gets cold. Then a dude just gets killed, like right in the doorway. And they're just like, oh, man. And see, had this movie kept up this kind of pace with this whole beginning, I guess it's maybe, 10 to 15 minute scene with Scorpion and Sub-Zero, this movie would have been fantastic. It would have given everybody what they actually wanted. Some of y'all like this movie. Some of y'all really like this movie. I see some of the people out there, if y'all don't like this movie, y'all trash, this, that, and or the other. I mean, if you like it, you like it. If you don't, you don't. There was a movie that came out last year, an animated Mortal Kombat movie about Scorpion. Had this movie just pretty much done that, but just the live action version of it, this movie would have been much better. For all the blood and guts and everything that we see in this movie, that animated Mortal Kombat, this was Mortal Kombat Legends, Scorpion's Revenge, I believe is what it's called. That movie's good. That movie's good. You have laughter, there's comedy, the fighting's good. I mean, it's animated, so you can make the fighting look as good as you want. But that was good, and I thought they were just going to say, hey, a lot of people didn't watch this, so we're going to pretty much do a live action version of this. And I was just like, okay, I'm down for that ride. But like I said, this movie kicks off great, and that fight scene between Scorpion taking out the Lin Kuei dudes and Sub-Zero fighting Scorpion, Sub-Zero killing Scorpion's family, all of that was great. That was great. Is what I wanted in the movie. But it's not what we get throughout the whole movie. You know, Sub-Zero kills Scorpion, and then it's just like, all right, now years later, you know, Raiden shows up back when Sub-Zero kills Scorpion, and he saves his daughter and takes her away. Then we get to the years later, and we get to come to this character named Cole. And it was a bit confusing because his daughter, I didn't really guess it was his daughter until much later on. I thought it was his younger sister, but I don't know how they like did that whole setup to just like, they should have made her maybe a little bit younger. He looked really young to have a daughter that old, but people be out there doing that thing. People be out there doing that thing. So he's in a cage fight and he is winning this fight. I'm like, all right. As a guy that used to fight myself, I'm looking at this. I'm like, all right. It's going, and then it's just like, it just turns and it's just like, wait, you were supposed to be some amazing fighter and you wind up getting beat like that? And I was just like, all right, well, dude, you were supposed to be good. And that's who they want us to relate to, because Cole is not a character in the games. Cole is not a character in the games. And I was just like, I can't relate to this guy. They should have just stuck with one of the main people from the games. We could have been following this from the point of Kano, who was hilarious in this movie. Johnny Cage, who's not going to show up, I guess, until Mortal Kombat 2. So, but we're following Cole. And they get to the whole thing about him having a birthmark, which he's Hanzo Hasashi, Scorpion's. He's from his bloodline, so that Scorpion had that mark on him, and so it just transfers throughout the whole family once they die into the next family member, which doesn't make any sense. But that goes along with a lot of this movie because they don't explain a lot of stuff in this movie. If we're going to take this movie just as a straight beat 'em up and I just want action and nothing has to make sense, okay, the movie's fairly good then. It's fairly good. But they're trying to deliver some story and it's not there. They're trying to say, hey, we're going to explain this and make a story look like this, but it's just like, y'all not really explaining anything. So we get back to Cole and it's just like, Jack shows up and he's like, hey, you're supposed to be some amazing fighter. You beat this dude, but you lost today because he's a trash fighter. And so that's how we're introduced to Jax, because Jax is just stalking this dude. Jax is actually stalking everybody that has a birthmark. What happens is with the mark, the Mortal Kombat, it's the dragon symbol. Whoever has the dragon symbol, you either get it two ways. Either you're born with it, or you fight somebody and kill that person that has that mark. So that's how Jax got his mark. And, you know, later on, Cole is out eating dinner with his family. And his daughter's just, they leave the daughter outside. And him and his wife go in the little place to order something else. And the daughter's like, hey, what the heck is going on? It's snow. The parts with Sub-Zero. The parts with Sub-Zero. I love him. Sub-Zero in this movie. Good. And the actor that plays Sub-Zero, he's also on another TV show called Warrior. Just want to give that show a shout out. For those of you that haven't watched Warrior and you have HBO Max, it's on there. Check it out. It's good stuff. So Sub-Zero shows up and he's just like making everything cold. And then the next thing you know, Sub-Zero's just like, I'm going to take all this ice and water, I'm going to raise it up, and I'm going to slam it down. And I was just like, oh, okay, Sub-Zero out here just trying to take everybody out the game. I like it. So they run. Jax shows back up. It's like, hey, get in the truck. And that's when he explains everything about the mark and not being a birthmark and all that. And so we go, and Jax drops them off. And he tells Cole, like, hey, take your family, get out of here. I'm about to go get this dude. That's when Jax grabs the shotty. It was just like, you seen the trailer. Jax goes through there. It was just like, I'm about to shoot Sub-Zero. He tries to fight him. It don't work. It don't work. That's how he gets his arms broke off. You know how it goes. So we go back to Cole. Jax had told Cole, hey, go to such and such place. Find Sonya Blade. She gonna help you. Cole drops his family off. He goes to get Sonya Blade by himself. She's in some like boat yard, something like that. They got like abandoned boats or whatever it is out there. He finds her. She's got Kano tied up. And they start talking, and for some reason, she knows about Mortal Kombat. It's this ancient thing. The way they go about explaining this stuff is just like, hey, we know about stuff because reasons. Because reasons. It was dumb. Just straight dumb. And then so they in there, they doing the whole like monologue, and then they send Reptile through there. It's just like, hey, we're gonna send Reptile to go take him out. Kano has a mark also because he killed a guy, because Kano be killing folks. And you know, so Shang Tsung sends Reptile, who just looks like a reptile, and they have this whole fight scene with the invisible lizard. And you know, they doing everything, and it's just like, okay, the fights, like I said, the fight scenes are good. I like the fight scenes in this, but it's everything else that's not good. And it's some of the stuff that it's just like, I know it's supposed to be a movie, I know it's supposed to be off a video game, but none of these people have like superhuman strength. So there's no way I'm going to believe that they're beating up Reptile. Kano's out. He's helping them fight. They're stabbing him, doing everything like that. And he stabs him in the chest. Then all of a sudden, he just punches through him. Like, I can understand there being a wound right there, and he can reach his hand in. But you're not going to reach your hand through. Now you got to punch through the spine, through the rest of the back muscles and tissue and all that stuff. Grab the heart and yank it out. Okay, I'll buy that. But here's the stuff that bothers me with this movie. He's like, oh, Kano wins. Nobody talks like that in a fight. Nobody's saying fatality. Nobody's saying finish him. Nobody's saying that. I understand they're trying to do this for the fans, but come on, man. That kind of stuff is not good. That kind of stuff is not great. And it's just like little instances with stuff like that I don't like. Like even towards the back end of the movie when not Sub-Zero, but Scorpion says, get over here. That was the one thing I had a problem with in the trailer. I was just like, it was lackluster. He was just like, get over here. And I'm just like, yeah, ain't nobody coming over there, buddy. Because that was not it. So we keep going through the movie, and Kano knows where Raiden's temple is because Kano's been all over the world. Like I say, everything just happens to fall into place because reasons. So they go out there and they're like, I guess like 30 miles, 30 clicks, whatever it is, away from where they need to get to. So they got to walk, or is it 12 miles, whatever it is. So they're walking. Then all of a sudden, who shows up? Liu Kang, which I'm fine with Liu Kang showing up right now. But because reasons, he's, excuse me, the three of them are going in the wrong direction. And Liu Kang was like, yeah, I've been waiting on you. How you just waiting on somebody and they going in the wrong direction? That's dumb. And he's like, all right, follow me. And we got to go in the complete opposite direction. If they heading east, they should have been going west. If they should have been going south, they was heading north. So, all right. Liu Kang finally takes him there. And I like Liu Kang. Because when they first meet up with him, Kano's just like, stay where you at. You know, whatever. And he about to run up on him. And Liu Kang's like, fireball. I'm just like, oh, all right. And Kano was like, what? Was that a fireball? It's like, wait a minute. Like I said, Kano, he brings the comedy to the movie. And I liked Kano in this. He was cool. So they do the whole training set at Raiden's place. And that's where Liu Kang, tells him when you get the mark, that's going to, bring out a power in you. But you have to train and do everything, to figure out what your power is and get it to work. So, they're doing everything. And Kung Lao shows up. And Liu Kang and Kung Lao are cousins. And, they do the whole training thing where they're beating up on Cole and Kano. Sonya Blade doesn't have a mark. So they find out that, hey, Liu Kang found Jax, but it wasn't until after he got his arms froze off. And then the monks is in there they fixing him up. And it was just like, okay. It was just like the Cole cauterized his wounds. I was like, okay, well, sometimes Cole be doing that, I guess. So he's over there armless. And they go back, do some more training. Shang Tsung shows up, and they just like, hey, we about to take everybody out the game. Raiden shows up, it's like, nah, you ain't supposed to be doing this. The whole time I'm watching this, I'm like, when's the tournament gonna happen? When is the tournament gonna happen? It don't. So Raiden puts up a force field and was like, Shang Tsung, you got to get up out of here. And so Shang Tsung is just like, all right, you bide your time right now. So then they go back to Jax. Now Jax got the little baby robot arms. And I'm just like, dang, little baby robot arms. So now they sitting down eating dinner. Kano was cracking jokes on Jax. Kano's cracking jokes on everybody. Kano was funny. I like it. And then so Liu Kang and Kung Lao are pretty much just talking trash to Kano. Talking about you can't fight. You pretty much, you like a brand new baby in the game. And, Kano gets mad. And what they're trying to do is they're trying to bring out the anger in him to get his power to work. And so his eye just shoots a laser. He's like, oh, snap. Y'all saw it? I got a laser eye. And I was like, all right, well, okay, cool. But Cole still can't figure out his powers. And just like, I don't know, man. You need to get angry to get your powers to work. So they figured out all their powers, and we go back to Shang Tsung, and Cabal just shows up with his crazy accent talking about, hey, I know Kano. This dude, this is the reason why I live in this iron lung right now. Let me go holler at him. We'll get him to do the old switcheroo. So Cabal shows up back at Raiden's place, and he's like, yo, whatever you want, name your price. This dude will give it to you. And you can double and triple your price all you want. This dude got you. So Kano hits the old switcheroo. He betrays him. Goes out there, melts the staff with his laser eye. It was Raiden's staff that put up the force field, so he melts that. Force field comes down. Now Shang Tsung and everybody coming through. You got this big old dude with a hammer. I don't know his name. I ain't never seen this dude before. You got Melina, Sub-Zero, and some bat chick with like bat wings, whatever. I ain't never seen her before either. And we get to the fights. Like I said, the fights in here are dope. And for a lot of the stuff with Kung Lao, it was good. Because Kung Lao fights the bat chick. Liu Kang fights Cabal. And Cabal got his little speed running around. Liu Kang is over there, you know, trying to piece him up some, but he's not really working because he's not ready for that speed. And so the big dude with the hammer fights Jax, and Melina fights Sonya Blade. And Melina was just like beating the crap out of Sonya Blade. And then she was like, oh, you don't have a mark, so you ain't worth me killing. So she beat the crap out of her and just left her for dead. And what was it? Kung Lao does the finishing move, and he jumps on the back. He throws his hat to the ground. It's spinning in the ground, and then he jumps on her back and just splits that chick in two. I was like, that was dope. I liked it. I did. And so Liu Kang was throwing fireballs at everybody. And then we get to the part where they get ready to leave, and Shang Tsung is just like, your soul is mine, to Kung Lao. And I'm like, oh, okay, well, he about to suck his soul out. And I was like, well, dang, Liu Kang tried to get to him. Now he don't want to throw no fireballs at nobody. Say your cousin throw the fireball, man. There's a lot wrong with this movie. Needless to say, Kung Lao dies, and they escape, and they send Cole away so he can figure out how to get his power. And that might have happened like in the reverse, whatever it was, but either way, he doesn't figure out his power until Goro shows up at his house, and, you know, Goro's about to attack his family. He told his family to get out of there. Now, if I tell my family to leave, y'all better leave. But his family's like, no, we're going to stay and watch, see what's happening. The fight scene was good. Cole had like this little iron body armor type thing going on, and he pulled out the tonfas, and he was fighting with him and cutting him up. And I was just like, all right, I dig it. It's cool. I'm going to skip forward because the rest of this is the movie. So we get to the part where they transport everybody to, like, they all going to fight each of these people because they was like, well, we got to come up with our own tournament. They don't want a tournament. And Raiden teleports two people to fight each person. And Sonya winds up killing Kano. Jax kills the dude with the hammer. Now Jax got the big arms when he tried to save Sonya from before. And it didn't make no sense how he just got the big metal arms. It just happens because reasons they needed it to happen. And y'all want to say, oh, well, it's it would have been from the mark of the dragon that would have gave them, but wouldn't it have given them a different power? Or does it give them what they think that it should have been because reasons? So going through, everybody fights, they beat up everybody. Then it's just like, all right, now we got to go and take out Sub-Zero because we got to do that as a team because Sub-Zero is cold. I said it. So they go, Sub-Zero shows up and is like, oh, no, I got your family. And it's at the gym that Cole trained at. And he fights. They fighting. And then, like, you know, Sub-Zero is giving him the business. And then he pulls out the dagger that Raiden gave Cole that used to be Sub-Zero's. I mean, that used to be Scorpion's. And Scorpion shows up to save the day. This fight scene was great. Like I say, most of the fight scenes in this are great. They're phenomenal. They have the fight. Scorpion wins. It should have just been the Scorpion movie from last year, but it wasn't. And, you know, then it's just like, okay, well, we won. Raiden tells Shang Tsung, hey, man, you ain't got to go home, but you got to get up out of here. Shocks him with the lightning, sends him away. And that's the end of the movie. And then it was just like, it's a setup for another movie. And from what I heard, it's supposed to be like 4 movies coming out. They better be coming out year after year because I don't know about no waiting 2 years for all of this stuff. They better just pack these things out. I'm not feeling this movie. I don't want to know what y'all thought. The fight scenes was good. The story and everything else that they tried to add into this wasn't cohesive. They didn't go, man. They should have did something else. I'm going to give this movie, because I like the fights, I'm going to give this movie 2.5 cents out of 5. It's going to get a 2.5. This movie was good for being on HBO Max. If y'all went to the movies to pay extra money to see this and you got HBO Max already, shame. But I want to know what y'all thought. Did y'all really like this movie? Do you agree with me and you still like the movie? Do you completely disagree with me? Let me know. All right, this is another 2 Cent Soapbox. I'm Kerry. Let's talk about it. I'm out.